I don't know if either or is like the president of the club, or if you guys have like positions like that.
The way agency works is it's like a class that people take for 6 units because it's a 2 semester class. And what it is there are clients and you get put into anywhere from like 1 to like sometimes I would say maximum 4 groups. Usually they try to get you around just being in 3 groups. And every group has a different lead for the project. So like at any point, like they're going to try to get you to be like basically in charge of a group of people. So you're like, everyone's a mini president.
Gotcha. Okay, so it seems like it rotates.
Yeah, so they'll like in the beginning, like on the first like few days of class, they'll come in and say, you know, we've partnered with like this many clients, and say it's like 14 clients, which means there's going to be like 14 groups, and each group will have anywhere, depending on like the workload, like 3 to 6 people. It kind of just depends on what the company or person or client is essentially asking us as a group to do. Sometimes they just want a group of people to get together and set up their social media and run it because they don't have a social media and they don't know how to like properly run social media, because that's not something that they're used to at this point. Or sometimes it's, we have an event and we want a group to specifically work on this event, and once this event's over, we are no longer going to be working with you guys. So it kind of like the workload and how many people are in a group all depends on the project.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, this video is going to be shown for, I don't know if they had told you, but basically students for admitted day. So if you just want to go first and say your first, last name, your year, and then an introduction to what the club is and your experience.
Okay. My name is Elizabeth Olson. I am a graduating senior at San Jose State, and I am a creative advertising major, and I am in the agency program. Agency program is something that any like PR, advertising, communications, marketing person can take to put on their resume, as well as to substitute the what's the word? Crap.
Internship.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. To substitute their internship role that is required for graduation for a couple of those majors. It's a year-long class. You take semester 1 and semester 2, but you do get a total of 6 units, and you get a lot of work done that can give you experience in your field, as well as give you a portfolio by the end of it. So I'm a creative ad, which means that when I got into agency, what it was like for me is in agency, everyone gets put into groups that work with real world clients that can be anywhere from people in the school who have contacted agency for work done. For example, like the theater on our campus works with us. This College of Science is working with us for a newsletter that they can give to alumni and sponsors and incoming students. And the health center has worked with us, just to name a few. And then sometimes there are outward clients. So we worked with a wedding company that was also a vineyard. We've worked with people that are putting on events, like there was going to be a Shakespeare event. We've worked with the sports team, like essentially like any client can come to us and we do work for them. It is free. But you gain experience. That's kind of like the whole point. You get paid, and I would say you get paid in your class credits. But for me, what it was like was anytime someone need graphics done, social media posts done, a flyer done, just any type of design, I would kind of get pulled on board, be it just to do a single project for a group or just to do the work in my group. To kind of give an example, I worked with 3 major groups. One of the first groups was for me purely social media based. I was with the campus reading program, which is a program that our school has to get freshmen to all read a certain book every year. I worked with my teammates to completely create their entire social media through Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I mainly ran the Instagram. But I was in charge of creating every graphic that we posted for any of that social media, and then also like resizing it to fit each platform and distributing it amongst my team in time for them to also post on the platforms that they were in charge with. And on top of that, I worked with college. During that time, I did work for the College of Science, where currently I'm working on a newsletter for them. So that newsletter that I was talking about, I'm the one creating the entire newsletter right now. My awesome teammates, though, did all the writing for the newsletter. So they did the social copy. Sometimes I do social copy, but I'm mostly a graphics person. You want to leave social copy to someone else because you don't want too much on your plate. For the wedding company, I did both on-site photography of their winery and their venues, as well as that company had about 9 properties. And so every person in the group ran a specific property, which was really helpful to me because during your time in agency, there's going to be a lot of internships that pop up that can lead to jobs after college. Right now, I'm currently in an internship, and I have been in an internship for about 3 months now. And I'm scheduled to work with them like past graduation. So during that time when I was interviewing for the internship, I got to send in like the Instagram account for the winery and say the last like month of posts, like that's all me. You now have like a real world example of like the social copy and imagery and how I create a social media post. So by the time I had done a lot of that work, I had a portfolio that I didn't really even realize until I put it together. And now I have an entire website that has examples of all the work I've done, because you don't really realize like what can actually go into a resume until you like think about it. When you just do social media, you can put together these are how many posts I made. This was the total engagement I got on that post. Here's an example of what that post looks like. Here's what the whole Instagram looks like. And it kind of creates a story of the amount of work you do, and also it like shows a client your understanding of how to run social media. Because I think in this day and age, a lot of people don't realize how important social media is, at least with the older generations, and those are going to be the people hiring you. So they don't know what they want. And if you show them, I know what you want, then they like that. But basically at this point, like I have a huge portfolio. I have newsletters, I have social media posts, I have entire campaigns. I worked with the theater to help do an entire production, and I didn't do too much work because graphically I didn't have to do a lot of work, but I still got to say I was part of, an entire production, an entire event, and show that I could do that stuff. So I think it's a really great way to get real world experience and graduate with a work under your belt, because I think the biggest struggle for college students is they get out of college and everyone that's hiring wants you to have experience already. So this gives you that experience, and it also eliminates a graduation requirement, which is really nice.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I would be sold. I would trust you. What about you, Kayla? What's been your experience?
First of all, I also want to say Liz's graphics are the best and are beautiful. It's been such a pleasure working with her. But should I do the name and everything?
Yeah, your name, your year, and your experience.
Okay, so my name is Kayla Ranelli. I'm a public relations major. This is my 4th and last year. And like Liz said, it's just been an amazing experience where you're getting to do things hands-on in the real world. And our professors are there to support us and help us, but you're still kind of given an opportunity to do things yourself and really take charge versus just an internship where you're kind of told what to do. You're leading the charge here. You are expected to run your own campaigns, which has been great to learn and work through that. The theater was my baby, that project. We did the promotion of a new original play that they were doing called Dreamer Project. It was the true stories of real SJSU students who are undocumented. So aside from just promoting a play, we were promoting the rights of DACA students and undocumented people. So it was a great, fulfilling experience, and we did our flyers and did events on campus and organized them ourselves. We put our press releases together and sent it out, and it was really cool because we actually got TV coverage for it. We got coverage from NBC News, Telemundo, Univision, the Mercury News covered it, and it was our team that was handling all the press and like, okay, this person's ready for an interview. We're going to bring you over and have you. It was we got to establish those relationships with the journalists themselves, and we were treated as professionals, and it was kind of crazy, and it was the first time I've ever done anything like that. But yeah, that's an experience I'm totally have on my resume and my portfolio, all the news stories. It was awesome.
Yeah, that sounds tight. Is there anything else that you guys would like to add that you feel like would be important for an incoming student to know about the club?
What I would say is that, the kind of touching on what Kayla said, the teachers are there as a safety net. There's two teachers, Tim and Chris, and they're both wonderful people. They can be intimidating, but they're really not. They're there to help you. So they're both professionals. They've been in this industry for years. They're like retired, they're teaching, and they're really there to make sure that you like are operating the best you can. When you get something done, be it an image, an entire press release, anything like that would be needed for a client, you pass it by them and they will tell you like, this is what you need to change, or you're like, you're good to go, send it on, or they'll completely reject it. But it's never like a malice rejection. It's always like like, we're here to help you, so let me help you learn. I would say that thinking back on the whole agency, having almost completed our entire year there, one of the things they told us in the very beginning was get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I feel like that quote really stuck with me, because at first, when I heard that during my first, they did like a meeting where everyone who got into the agency like met, and we got to talk and ask questions with people who were leaving the agency. And they said that, and at first that terrified me to hear that, because I really hate being uncomfortable, but it's not terrifying. Like, yes, you're going to get asked to do things you don't know how to do, but you have an entire class of people that are there to help you learn. So if you're the creative, like I am, on certain projects, they might be like, we need you to do videography. I don't have a lot of experience in videography, but every time I have, there's always been a plethora of sources that I can go to, and that makes the experience less scary. In reality, I think you could learn anything with the internet. You can go online and find out how to make something that your client wants and like exceeds their expectations very easily. So I always think that that's like a safety net for me when I'm doing stuff I don't know how to do. But with the agency, you don't have to own the equipment. We were able to do, with the theater project, we did spotlight interviews with every cast member, and we were able to use the sources on campus to do very professional, very high quality interviews, because you can check out like nice cameras. You can use a recording studio on campus. And so like the sources are there for you, and you can learn how to use them while you're still in school and able to kind of like not be sure what to do. And then when you graduate, you have that talent under the belt and you know how to do things. Going into agency, no one's expecting you to like be a professional at what you do. It's part of essentially like a safety net where you learn everything in what is essentially like a real world job. And then you have that experience and that knowledge suddenly when you're gone. So you are uncomfortable, but it's not like awful. It's never been awful. It's always like an uncomfortability that's just the uncomfortableness that comes with not knowing how to do something yet. And then by the end of something, you now know how to do it, and you're not uncomfortable, and you have a new skill, and you have a new thing in your resume.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Keela, is there anything that you wanted to add? Or
Yeah, I think to add on to that, aside from all this learning experience, it's more than a club. It is a program, a class, but also kind of this little community. I mean, we've made really good friends in here, and these are the people that are going to be our peers out in the real world. So it helps to establish a network of people, you know, aside from clients, professionals in your own field, and people that are going up with you, help you out. And I lost my train of thought. But yeah, it's more than a club. It gives you the chance to really get a handle on it. And it's a great way to kind of capstone your PR or advertising experience.
cool. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. I really appreciate it. That was it.
Okay, awesome.